Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Saturday Night Psychic. I'm your host, Lennis. Thank you for joining the show and watching my channel. If you'd be so kind as to hit the like button back down there and the subscribe button, please, I would appreciate it. I'm coming this evening to you because it is evening time right now. Usually, I do this in the morning. I'm pissed. I'm really pissed. They're letting these criminals out of jail and out these prisons. Let me tell you why I'm pissed. Two things: housing and job. Where are these people going, y'all? Because they out there rabbit ass mind. They even come up with is this as a solution to coronavirus for people that are incarcerated. Where are they going? You can't go to Mama and them's house because they're elderly. You can't go to your grandmother's because they're elderly and you're coming out to jail. How do you know, or prison, that you don't already have it? So you can't be around them, which is always a saving grace, I guess, for most people coming out to joint. They go to their mothers or grandmothers. Well, that ain't happening because your relatives or friends are going to tell you don't go to your grandparents or your parents' house because you don't want to, make them sick or end up there dying because of you. So, okay, criminals or the justice system, where's the housing for these people? You can't even house the homeless. Damn. And now you letting the prisoners out of jail, and you talking about, oh, they're just like misdemeanors, robbery, domestic violence. Okay, first off, let's approach this on domestic violence. I hope that you are warning these women that these guys are getting out of jail because you're saying, oh, they only had 6 months ago and they would have got out. Bullshit. Some of y'all are getting out that even got a year and 2 years yet to go. So you're letting these men out that have committed domestic violence. I hope to God that you are letting these women know that these guys are back out so they can either do another TRO or somewhere take some safety precautions for their life. Okay, because jail don't teach you shit. So I hope, number one, that you do that. Now, these criminals that you say that, oh, misdemeanors, they ain't done nothing. It's nothing that bad. We can let them go. Did y'all hear in the news a week ago? They let a guy out, part of this solution that they're doing. Okay, he did something like a misdemeanor, something low. 3 days later, he committed a murder. 3 days after being released. But this is a good idea. Let the criminal. You're in jail and prison for a reason. Now, I realize everybody ain't guilty. There's probably some innocent people in there. But probably 85% of you motherfuckers are guilty. So, okay, so the coronavirus is going through. If you guys start dying off, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. But who cares? Unless your family really supported you and know that you're an innocent person, or SLC, whatever, SPLC, there's nothing really we can do. We don't need you coming back into society with no housing, no job, no money. And you don't even know if you have the virus because just because they said you were clear when you left the jail or the prison, you could have it. And it just may not show up for 3 or 4 days or 7 days. But, it's incubated in your body. So, who bright idea was this? Was this the creature's idea? Or was this the governors of you know who I'm talking about when I say creature? Don't mess with me. Don't even start. Or was this the policy of the governors of the different states to allow this to happen because, they don't want people. Well, for one reason, I don't know if the criminal institutions even have enough doctors or nurses. We know they ain't got test kits, that they do very few. But, to even help or, put those people in solitary confinement or whatever. I mean, if this starts happening in the prison system, you mean you can't separate these people into another section and move some people to another section so all the people that have the virus, they're just in this section of the prison or of the jail, so the other ones are not affected by them? I don't know. Just an idea I thought might be a possibility. You just never know. You got to come up with something. But it's better than releasing them back out to society. Okay? If nothing else, that guy last week just showed the nation Not a good idea. You might think about that. It may not resonate. I know it ain't resonating with me. I just think that I think it's a terrible thing. I'm sorry. But you know what? How did you prisoners get coronavirus? I want you to think about that, y'all. How did they get it? They're locked up. They're not out here in society. So how did they get it? Evidently, the employees brought it into the prison and the jail system. Okay? Think about that. Because they're not out here. They're just what? In a yard? Walking around or doing exercises, whatever, and going back to the cells. They weren't exposed to coronavirus. But their employees at the jails and the prisons are, and that's how they got it. So you know what? Y'all need to back up and check yourself. You done wrote a check you can't cash now, and it's terrible. Okay. So that's one of the things. Also, what about the mental people? Because they're talking about people with mental stress, mental problems. They're thinking about even releasing them. Well, I'll be damned. Maybe I should go buy a gun. Maybe that's why gun sales went up. Because you don't know who you're going to be dealing with out here. Okay? So you better think about that. Before you start letting them 220s out, you better think about it. Okay? They may be all right because they're on some medication. What's to say they're going to stay on the medication? They might be feeling good. And, some people that have mental anguish, they're on medication, sure enough, and they take it for a while and they feel normal. They feel good. God bless. And then all of a sudden, excuse me, and then all of a sudden they snap. Like, oh, you know what? I haven't taken my medicine in 3 days or in a week. What? What? Get your ass out of here and get back to Stillicum. Get up on the ninth ward. Shit, what you doing out here? You don't even think you need to take your medicine because you feel good? Okay. Next up, the protesters. Protesters, you can kiss my entire grits, and you know what I mean. My entire grits, moistly. You held up people the other day that were trying to get to a hospital. I can't remember. I don't know if it was Ohio or Missouri. But there were workers stuck in that traffic trying to get to the hospital to help people with coronavirus or other illnesses. Of course, it may come into the hospital, heart cancer, diabetes, who knows. But they're trying to get to the hospital because this is what they're doing. They're putting their life on the line to save your protester mama, your protester daddy, or your protester siblings. Okay? That's what they're doing. But you stop them. Maybe somebody died. Who knows? Because they weren't there to help. Who knows? But you're protesting. You creature people that think that you're doing something, you want to go back. Who doesn't want to go back to work? Shit, everybody wants to go back to work. There's some small businesses that have just closed. They couldn't even stay open. They weren't an Amazon or Boeing's or Microsoft or something where they could still have money coming in. They closed up. And what happened? Those people lost their jobs. Now what? And you're out here complaining, I don't see not one mask, no gloves on or nothing. So as far as I'm concerned, you people are just like a gun pulling the trigger. Because you're giving the virus, you don't know who's infected in that crowd, and you're just spreading it even more. We're not trying to do a second wave, people. One wave of this coronavirus is enough. We don't need to do a second time. So would you please do what you're supposed to do and quit protesting? Like what? Do you think Trump give a shit about your ass? That creature is up there thinking about money, not people. Have you heard Trump one time say, I'm sorry for all the people that have passed away, for the loved ones that you... Not one MF time have you heard his compassion for families. Now, if it's about the stock market, China, or Putin and money, you got his attention. Okay, he can't even talk right to the media every time they try and ask a question with his words. That's nasty. That was a nasty question. You're rude. You're fake news. Okay, creature feature. Whatever. You protesters, take your ass home. Okay, we're all in this together. This is the God's truth. Everybody wants to get back to work, get to making money for their families. You out there doing what you're doing is not only that particular held up medical staff trying to get to the hospital, but you're spreading the disease. You don't know which one of y'all got it. You really don't until it hits you. So you're spreading the disease out there again. No mask or nothing. I got to tell you guys something. Earlier, I wanted a hamburger. Excuse me. So I said, well, shoot, I'll run up to Burger King and get me a hamburger. Just had a taste for it. Y'all, I got in Burger King because you know it's drive-through. You can't go in the lobby. Got to the first window. The woman that takes the money had gloves on, no mask. But she had gloves on to take the money. Got to the second window. I can see 4 people, 2 at the counter. I don't know why they were at the counter because there's nobody in the lobby. Maybe they were doing something. But it was 2 standing by the counter. It was 2, 1 at the window and 1 right next to her, side by side, maybe a foot and a half from each other. And then I saw this lady running around. I guess she might have been the manager. I don't know. None of these people had masks on. Not a one employee. The lady had gloves that took the money. The second window, she had gloves when she gave me the little bag. Okay, what does that tell you? That's a business. We going in there just to do a drive-by. And your people can't even at least put mask on. I know they're not in my face and I'm not in yours. But let me believe that while you're working with that food that you're being clean and safe. Okay, let me just have that hope. Than to come home and throw up and have food poison. Because your people don't wear a mask, so they're breathing all over the food as they're preparing it for you. Huh? Come on now. People, it is not that hard. And there's some beautiful masks out here. Come on, y'all. Everybody's making masks. Some professional, some not professional. But they're beautiful. They're nice. So, you can wear your mask and look cute. Come on, man. Quit the dumb shit. Now, enough for the protesters. Bored. Yes. We are bored as shit. God knows we are so bored. Television, I'm tired of television. I've been watching YouTube. I'm starting to read books. I'm supposed to be, my goal this year is to put 3 books out. I only got 1, so really I should be working on my second book to get that one out. I'm still going to get these other 2 books out before December 31st. That I have a determination about. But anyway, YouTube, yeah, get tired of that. I would say get a book. But if you just have to get some air, let me tell you, y'all, last Friday, my core girlfriends and I got together at one of our girlfriends' house. She has a big front yard. And so her husband, bless his heart, they've got solar, those solar things you can put on your sidewalk, to light up as you go up. Okay, so her husband went out because we sat in a circle and he put us all 8 feet apart. And she was saying, it only have to be 6 feet, but he had us all 8 feet apart. We all had our little parade chairs or the lawn chair. And we had a little TV tray. Everybody bought their TV tray table so that they could put the water or water, coffee, tea, or, if you brought a snack or something to eat on. And we sat there for about 3.5 hours. Had our mask on, had our gloves on, and, we're sitting apart. But it was a wonderful time. And it felt good. It felt good to smell fresh air. We don't have the cars, you know what I mean, with the pollution and stuff. Not really, because nobody's out. It looks like a ghost town. But it just felt good to sit there and laugh and talk and share the love and still be safety conscious. Now, she had neighbors going by walking, no mask, no gloves. There was a group of 3 adults and about 7 kids walking past, no mask, no gloves. Okay, I'm like the lady, what you do? What you do? They know. It's not that they don't know. You know what I mean? It's like you die and go to heaven and you're like, God, Lord, I prayed to you. Why didn't you save me? Didn't somebody tell you what to do? I gave you common sense and free will and free choice. So, okay, bring your dumb ass on through. But, but anyway, so yeah, I know y'all are bored, but try to think of something. Get away from the kitchen because you don't want to blow out, and be big. You want to keep your nice size. But anyway, get away from the kitchen, get away from the TV. Yeah, check out some YouTube. I did a video on some things that you can watch on YouTube. Check that out. Some suggestions that I think are good from humor, politics, spiritual, reading, everyday, Afrocentric. So check that video out, and that will, as far as YouTube to watch. Books. If there's some book that you want to read or something that you want to know about, or around the house, because I doubt if the libraries are open. Get the book out. One that you decided that you want to read, you'll go ahead and read. Or if there's some game, I've heard some people putting 500 and 1,000 piece puzzles together. I know one guy put 1,000 piece puzzle together. He said he'll never do that again, but he completed it. So, I mean, you got to think of something to do. But like I said, with his girlfriends, it was nice, and that's what I would say. But maybe if you got a house, go in the backyard. Go in the backyard. If you got children, give them, some toys, something they can play in the backyard. Get a breath of fresh air, but mask down, because I do believe this is airborne. And probably too when you're in each other's face, but I believe that the disease is airborne. So, think about that. To try and get away from being bored. Okay. Now, I've been asked by several of my clients, when do I see this ending? I said this in a previous video. In June, I see 65% of the nation turning the corner. 65%, okay, in June. And I also see that slowly but surely, people start going back to work. Little by little by little, they start going back. So I see June as a good month. September, because I was asked about the economy. Things will be all right during the summer. I'm sorry to say this, but in September, this is what I see now, what I was shown by my angels and guides. September will be the month of depression, where we'll go back to 1929. It's going to be bad. Really, really bad. Our parents, I'm part of the baby boomers. So my parents and grandparents are not here that might have lived through that to be able to tell me what to do, how to do it, or how did you survive it, and make it through. So we're kind of on our own, unless, some people are blessed to have their parents in their 90s. We're kind of on our own. So I've been saying this, put $200 to $500 back in cash. Put it away in your house somewhere. Hide it. You ain't got to tell nobody. Just put that money up, because come September, it ain't going to be a credit card. You're going to need cash. Whether it is to get gas in your car, food in your house, or whatever necessities or essentials that you may need, you're going to need cash. A credit card ain't going to get it. So I'm just telling you, right now, a lot of places, I live in Washington, they rather prefer credit cards than money, because they say money is dirty. Gee, did you just find that out? Money's been dirty for years. But anyway, they prefer to take credit cards, Visa or your debit card, or either your Visa or MasterCard when shopping. And I understand. I understand that, but shoot, I wipe my money down with Pine Sol. I bet when you put it in the register, it's going to smell clean. Okay, now, and the next thing was the election, which is November 3rd coming up. I was asked, will Trump be president again? Yes, the creature will. And I'm sorry, don't get mad at me. Don't curse at me. Okay, I'm psychic, I'm empathic, I'm intuitive. The angels and the guides talk to me, so stop it. Don't get mad, but I see him coming back. But the good thing, and maybe I shouldn't say this, God forgive me, he's only going to be in office for a year and a half. That's what they showed me, 1.5. So I assume that is a year and a half. Now, what happens after that year and a half might be health reasons. Might be health. I didn't see him being assassinated or anything like that, but it might be due to health reasons. Karma's a bitch, okay? And he's way overdue. The creature is overdue for karma, what he's done to this nation. But anyway, he will be back for a year and a half. Now, when after a year and a half, he's no longer our president, Of course, Pence will be the president, right? Now, one good thing about Pence, I didn't like Pence at first because to me, he didn't really like women. Okay, I've heard he's bisexual, whatever, but he don't really like women. I know he's married. Okay, so he has some attitudes coming in. But when Trump's threw him under the bus last October, Pence all of a sudden came to a rude awakening, didn't he? Yeah. You thought that was your boy. That was your boy. He don't care if it ain't no money into it, you gone. So, because I have saw Trump at one point probably getting a woman as a vice president and Pence not being there, but no, Pence will be there. But because of this, Pence has changed. So he's looking at things a little bit differently. So I think by the time that the creature is out and Pence becomes president, he'll be a little bit more understanding and maybe a little bit more compassionate toward the nation and what we've been through. Okay, because the creatures had him lying left and right, but that's okay. He sees the sunshine. He really does. So just give him a break. You later on, not right now, but just give him a break. Okay, now, validation for me on one of my predictions. I said the weather in the South was going to be bad, that it would be flooding. I didn't see the tornadoes, but I saw a lot of flooding, but it was going to be bad weather. That did happen and is still happening, possibility. So just to say that to let you know. Okay, that's my fussing. That's my fussing for tonight. I just was so upset and angered about these people getting out of prison. They just don't know what they're doing. And you sure not better not let them crazy folks out. Good God, there's enough crazy people out here to begin with. We don't need them to come back and circle up, go back. But anyway, God knows everybody needs to be loved, and we need to have compassion and understanding. I understand that, but we live in a fast food society, but it ain't no more, is it? Boy, if nothing else in this world shut down, do you not see the greed that was in this world? Do you not see the selfishness that was in this world? And do you also see the blue skies? Now, do you see what all that pollution is doing to the environment? Even China didn't know the sky was blue. They thought gray was a natural color. California, they're even saying like, wow, look at that pretty blue. It's been blue. You just couldn't see it. You just couldn't see it because of all the smog. So anything, just something to think about, y'all. I know I'm being silly, just something to think about. But anyway, thank you for listening to me and fussing a little bit there, but I don't know. I pray every night. I pray every morning when I get up. Y'all, I think I did this for 3 years in a row. And this is while I was on Facebook, because I'm not on Facebook or Twitter anymore. I would go into prayer. And people will tell you that if you ask them about me, for 24 hours. Non-stop. Every hour. I prayed for 24 hours. So the first time, I had about maybe a page and a half, not quite 2 pages of names, the first year. The second year, maybe about 3.5 pages. By the third year, I had 6 pages of names and people telling me, what they wanted me to pray for them for. 6 pages by the third year. But I would do it once a year, and I would invite other women and men to come in and pray too, every hour. Of course, I had the names and the list and the concerns, but just pray with me. But I would every hour. And I'm going to tell you, when I got to the 23rd hour, I would be crying. I'd be so tired. I'd be like, God, please, I can't go on. I can't. I know I've been praying, but I can't. Do you know by the 24th hour, because I would start at 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock, 24 hours. Do you know by 12 o'clock, I was right awake. It was almost like, whoo, whoo. I didn't have a energy burst or something, or an energy drink. Isn't that crazy? But I just felt like 1 hour before that 24 hour, I wasn't going to make it. But you know what? Check out my book, Prayers at 11:59. How about that for segueing? It's on YouTube. You'll see prayers at 11:59. Maybe you might want to check it out because there might be some prayers over there you could use. Okay? But please do that. Pray for everybody, your family, your friends, and of course the world. We got to bring peace and harmony back to this world. Okay? So do that. Now, if no one's told you they love you today, I do. And I thank you for listening to me and watching the video. Okay, so have a good evening and God bless. All right.